Okay, so good day everyone. This will be our unit 3 on our cognitive psychology nga class, and this will be included sa aton prelim na examination. So for our unit 3, it will be all about attention. So for our content here, we have first, syempre, attention. And then second one, four main functions of attention, factors that influence our ability to pay attention. And last but not the least, we have your when our attention fails us. So, ano na siya magambal ta attention class? It is the means by which we actively process a limited amount of information from the enormous amount of information available through our senses, our stored memories, and our cognitive processes. And when it comes to attention, we have here your four main functions, no? Ano blang functions ang nga may attention kita? So first we have your signal detection and vigilance, and then we have search, selective attention, and divided attention. So isa-isa unta na sila later. And as well as no, heightened attention also paves the way for memory process. And we are more likely to remember information to which we paid attention than information we ignored. So it says here, attention is really a key factor when it comes to memory because if we don't have certain attention to certain things nor certain stimuli at the environment, it is not likely man nga ma-stored sa aton nga long-term memory. So sa aton unit 4, it will interconnect ng attention kag memory. Okay, signal detection and vigilance. So it means no, we try to detect the appearance of a particular stimuli. So for example, on a dark street, we may try to detect unwelcome sights or sounds, or maybe following an earthquake, or we may be wary of the smell of leaking gas or of smoke. No, so for example, if you are looking out the window and you see may smoke dira no sa punta no, and then what would likely will happen no, we're likely to be interested no because there's smoke, and if there's smoke there must be may sunog no, and we try to be vigilant about it. We try to detect those signals nga sa ating environment. So that is basically what we meant when we say signal detection and vigilance. And then after that, it's also ang main function niya is to search no. So ano na siya magambal to search? So it's basically self-explanatory naman sa word. We often engage in an active search for a particular stimuli. So, for example, sa itong example kagina, if we saw smoke, that's our signal detection. And after that, we search for it. Then bala nagali ng aso, no? Maybe we we would like to find out kung diin ng suhalin, kag diin ng sunog, and whatnot. So we search for it. We search for that detected stimuli. And then we have selective attention. This one naman is we choose to attend to some stimuli and ignore others. So when it comes to selective attention, we divide our attention for those nga we really need to get the attention, no? For example, here sa aton nga example kagina nga sa smoke, we tend to forget about the other ang iban nga mga things, no? Because muna gani, we detect the stimuli, we search for it, we search for the smoke, then after that, our attention will be divided towards the smoke because we want to learn din bala nagali ng smoke, no? Then bala may sunog because smoke is usually associated with burning buildings and whatnot. And lastly, we have your divided attention. So this one naman is we prudently allocate our available attentional resources to coordinate our performance of more than one task at a time. So it's basically multitasking, no? So sometimes look like may nakakagay sa mga friends, no? Mga pay kami at the same time basa-basa ako katuon ko, no? And then maambal ang friend ko nga karon na bala tuon kay may storya may chika ko dan naisimo no. And kaysa gasamba ko na nga sige lang kay kaya ko man multitask 100% nga time ko or attention na kasi mo kag at the same time gato ako. But technically that's wrong gali class no because attention couldn't be replicated, couldn't be duplicated. Attention could only be divided no. So kung 100% lang attention tungaon gina siya. That's why nga we only divide attention, and that's why may divided attention at the same time may selective attention. So we put certain attention to different stimuli around us, and amo na, na-divide na lang siya, but we couldn't really saying 100% from here, 100% from that, matunga gid mo attention. Even though ang sagad ka mag-multitask. Okay, so for our next slides, no, we will further tackle each of this much further or much in depth. Okay. When it comes to signal detection, we have here what we call a signal detection theory, which is a framework to explain how people pick out the few important stimuli when they are embedded in a wealth of irrelevant distracting stimuli. So this theory, no, or this framework is here to explain how people will pick certain stimulus no, nga para maging importante sila, para maging magka-attentive pagid sila bala, no? So it tries to explain that ang purpose of theory. And when we try to detect daw a targeted stimulus or a signal, there are four possible outcomes. So here are the four possible outcomes. You have your true positives, false positives, false negatives, and true negatives. The black part above that, no, sa ilang mga names is just that a association para masapos nyo bala yan. For example, when you say true positive, it means hits, no? For example, when you say false positive, it means false alarm. False negative, miss and misses, and true negatives are correct rejections. So, for example here, sa true positives natin, we have the lifeguard correctly identifies the presence of a target. Now, sa atong din nga example, may lifeguard, galantaw, no? If may alumos, kay their job is to help them save the person. Okay, so sa true positive, the lifeguard correctly identifies the presence of a target. For example, somebody is drowning. So that is a hit, no? That is a true positive. That is the signal of his attention will go towards it, no? And that's how that's the outcome, no, of the signal detection, which means tuod gid man nga may nalumos. Second is the false positive or false alarms. For example, the lifeguard thinks somebody is drowning who actually isn't, no? For example, nag-divide the attention pakadto to sa isa ka tawo nga nakita yang abi na lumos kay giligang panghampang lang. So that could be an outcome if you try to detect a signal, no, false positive. Next is the third one, false negatives or miss and misses. The lifeguard fails to observe the presence of a target. So, for example naman sa lifeguard, no, the lifeguard does not see the drowning person. So, ang iyang pag-detect, no, within a certain stimulus, for example here, a person, nga pangita yung na-drown, no, wala ay na nakita. So, it means nga it is a false negative. And for the last one, we have here the true negatives, or what we call correct rejections. The lifeguard correctly identifies the absence of a target. For example, here, true negatives. For example, the lifeguard nakita yan nung wala may nadanaw, no? Nobody is drowning. And he or she knows that nobody is in trouble. So, he detected nga towards his attentive attention, nobody is drowning and therefore hindi siya he would do nothing because wala man may na drown. Okay. Let's proceed. When it comes to signal detection theory, basibla ma-meet nyo na siya in regards to perception, in regards to memory, no? It is not only in the context of attention, but it can also be in the context of perception and memory. So when it comes to attention, the signal detection theory, it's all about paying enough attention to perceive objects that are there. When it comes to perception naman, perceiving faint signals that may or may not be beyond your perceptual range, such as a very high-pitched tone, or for example, when it comes to the visual aspect of perception, it could be nga somewhere bla sa peripheral vision, yung feel nyo may nakita ang mga tao, no? But in reality, wala galin. That's called ng false negative, no? That could be an example. No? So signal detection theory could be also used in perception. And at the same time, it could also be used in memory, which indicates whether you have or have not been exposed to a stimulus before, such as whether the word champagne appeared on a list that was to be memorized. No? For example, memorize ka, then wala na dumduman mo, may hara to bala. Ang number 3, do ang mo ni siya bala mo. Pero in reality, gali wala. So that could be an example also of false negative. No? Anyways, um, next year we have on September 11, 2001, when terrorists crashed two airlines into the Twin Towers in New York City. The 9/11 hijackers were screened at airports as they prepared to board their flight. So are you familiar with this class? The 9/11 nga tragedy, no? Um, during this time, they try to prevent all of this, by sorting out people who are gonna board the airplane, no? But as we all know, no, na tabo Japon, it's because nga um amo na the attention sa mga manugsort, no, ng people kitong damo-damo, divided ng ila attention, therefore may nakalusot gyud yan. So dapat i-tighten pa gyud ng security and whatnot. So basically amo man lang na ginapahiwatig dira sa last part sa aton nga slide. Okay. And next, we have here what we call nga vigilance, which refers to a person's ability to attend to a field of stimulation over a prolonged period, during which the person seeks to detect the appearance of a particular target stimulus of interest. So, when say vigilant, it is heightened aton senses, but it's because we are expecting something. For example, here's aton nga picture. Those are military officers, no, or soldiers, and they are watching for a sneak attack, and they are engaged in a high-stake vigilance task, no? For example, in Ilonggo nga terms, no, kung ang mga police, ang balan sila nga, they're timbrihan sila, there might be an attack of mga terrorists, no, during this time of day. Therefore, maging vigilant ang mga police, no, ang ilang security maging mataas pa no, and then permit 24/7, no, sa mga stricto, and that's what you call pagiging vigilant. Next, we have search. And this one naman refers to a scan of environment for particular features, actively looking for something when you are not sure where it will appear. So basically, that's what we mean when we say search, no? And search is made more difficult by distractors, non-target stimuli that divert our attention away from the target stimulus. Okay. So for mga mata distractors are those things nga gapa-budlay sa aton nga search. Now, for example, here's aton picture, grocery, no? Did you ga-grocery ng mga muguro class or kaagi ka mo grocery? And for example, if you want something, if you want a certain item, butang tabi ang ano naman, corned beef kali ano, corned beef nga pure foods, no? So mo gina akong paborito dan. For example, ako malakat sa grocery yung mangita ko corned beef nga pure food. So ang tendency sa class is that I will look for an aisle, no, nga it's all about corned beefs. Okay? So makadto ko da. And then sa aran ako sa aisle, kita ko dumudamo corned beef. So how would I search for the targeted item, no, nga pure foods nga corned beef? So mangita ko ng mga similarities, no, kung anong ginapangita ko. For example, ang corned beef nga pure foods daw blue na siya, di ba, ang color, and then nara sa pure foods nga section, and then ang packaging niya do somewhat blue or violet, I'm not sure, but you get my point na lang, no? And then tanggal look ko, I will think about all of those things in order to search for that item. And there are certain distractors to sa tupad sang pure foods. No, kaya mo the brand ng mga lain-lain. For example, Argentina, Star, and those were the distractors. No, so it will make my my searching more difficult because dumadamo sila katapikay. And at the same time, sometimes ang mga packaging, no, mera similarities. So that could also be a distractor man. And for example, nabila ka sa iban nga mga husband nga ginasugo sa nila wife nga bakal ka amo niya, amo gini siya nga brando liwatabi no pila paliwat-liwaton, pero pag bakal sa husband pagpuli lain giling na bakal niya. It's because nga may certain distractors na when come to searching kag kung hindi ka mo naka-familiar sa isa ka bagay, you will think nga parehas lang sila. Like for example sa akong nga slide, no? If a container looks like a box of Cheerios, you may pick it up without realizing that it's really tasty O's, no? So, it could be connected man sa business psychology class because may ara man na sila ginahungod na nila kis ang branding nga iparehas sa mga sikat nga mga brand. No? For example, Pure Foods na para mas maengganyo pagid ang mabakal, no? And that is called distractors. Anyway, let's proceed to selective attention. Here we have what we call nga cocktail party effect, which is the process of trapping one conversation in the face of the distraction of other conversation. So Cherry, ang nagobra ang amuning effect, no, devise a task known as shadowing. In shadowing, you listen to two different messages. Cherry presented a separate message to each ear, known as dichotic presentation. So when we say dichotic, meaning may pililian ka sa duwa class. Basi ma-meet yun nga muna nga mga jargon or words later on sa mag-third year na kamahiting sa psychological assessment. May makita ka mo dichotic or dichotomous, usually ma-pick ka sa duwa na. For example, yes or no, agree or disagree, no? Mga baka dichotic. But anyways, regarding sa example here, itong dichotic, may duwa sa nga pililian kung diin niya pamatian. Example here, sa shadowed ear in the picnic basket, she had peanut butter, sandwiches, and chocolate brownies. In the other ear, which are the unattended ear, the cat suddenly started to run after the mouse. So as you can see here, no, ang pamatian niya gid ang the former, which is in a picnic basket, she had peanut butter, sandwiches, and chocolate brownies, no? Ang una-una ang iyang pamatian because that's the thing that he wants to have attention with, no, or being attentive with. And namuna ko no ang process when it comes to selective attention. Meron tayong ito nga cocktail party effect nga kung anong mas tagaan ta importansya, mas tagaan ta attention nga sugilanon or hambalanon amo man ang masulod sa aton nga memory. And the latter part, which is the unattended ear, mapundo lang siya, no? Masulod siya pero mapundo lang. So that's what we say when we say cocktail party effect. Next, we have theories of selective attention. So, meron ta three models. First, kay Broadbent's model, attenuation model, and late filter model. But before we tackle all of those models, we first need to describe and discuss what it is when we say filter and bottleneck. So, a filter, no, is someone that blocks some of the information going through and thereby selects only a part of the total of information to pass through the next stage. Kumbaga, manag-filter sang kung ano lang imo nga tagaan attention, no? And a bottleneck naman slows down information passing through. So this is the one that slows down what it is ang tagaan attention. Okay, now let's discuss Broadbent's model. This was made by Donald Broadbent, and this was the most earliest theory when it comes to attention. So he was the pioneer when making theories about attention. So take note of that basi magawa na sa exam. So according to him, we filter information daw right after we notice it at the sensory level, no? So do bottom up. The moment we sense the stimuli, no, we try to filter it agad-agad or we try to think if gaanta ni sa attention or hindi. Multiple channels of sensory input reach an attentional filter. Those channels can be distinguished by their characteristics like loudness, pitch, or accent. So we can distinguish certain stimuli by its loudness, pitch, or accent. The filter permits only one channel of sensory information to proceed and reach the processes of perception. We thereby assign meaning to our sensations. Other stimuli will be filtered out at the sensory level and may never reach the level of perception. So for example here sa aton nga image provided sa ating slide. As you can see here sa babaw, those are the unattended nga mga stimuli, no, from our sensory registration. And underneath that, we have the attended. Okay, so manangin gaanta attention. Okay, so masulod sila duwa sa sensory registration or sensory register. And after that, masulod sila sa selective filter naman. So during this time, dili na din na-filter out kung tagaan tamang siya bla attention or hindi. And this is based on the person, no? So if tagaan mo siya attention, then it will proceed to perceptual processes. If not, then mabilin lang siya sa filter, no? Okay? Hindi man siya importante para sa imo, no? And next na siya sa perceptual process, this is the time nga you will interpret, no, what it is nga nagsulod nga stimuli. For example, you see a smoke, no? Sa akong example gina. So, dira ta na ma-internalize no nga ang nakita tato smoke lang na detect the smoke. And in turn, masulod na siya sa short-term memory. May memory na ta regarding to that. Okay? The next model will be attenuation model by Anne Treisman. So, her findings suggested that at least some information about unattended signals is being analyzed. Treisman proposed a theory of selective attention that involves a later filtering mechanism. Instead of blocking stimuli out, the filter merely weakens, or that basically translates to attenuates the strength of stimuli other than the target stimulus. So, hambalya ko no ni Treisman class nga everything ko no gasulod gid hasta sa short-term memory. No, even those the unattended nga hindi ta pagtagaan attention block lasaw. Kasulod man both sila sang attended. But those nga unattended, mayara sa filtering system nga ga-attenuates, kumbaga ga-died down, ga-matamat hina bla, died down ang pagkahatag ta attention towards that certain stimuli, no? So, kung kay broadband, hasta sa filter dula dayon, no? Ang unattended kag kung attended siya masulod siya dun short term. Kay Treisman naman niya, duwa sila gasulod sa short-term memory. Pero kung attended siya, gamatamat sa died down nga, died down nga, died down, no? Kaya hindi ta sa ganito importansya kay we choose, no? We select which attention should we give attention nga stimulus, okay? And last but not the least, we have plate filter model by I think this is German nga name, no? By Deutsch and Deutsch. Okay, magbasa ka na muna. Light filter model. They develop a model in which the location of the filter is even later. They suggested that stimuli are filtered out only after they have been analyzed for both their physical properties and their meaning. So, based naman kay Deutsch, no? Mas late pa gid siya kaysa kay sa first one, no, kay Broadbent or kay Treisman. It's because nga we only filter things before we know what it is nga gina-sense ta, no? Kung ano tong nakita ta, kung ano nung batian ta, no? So, process ta kuno danay kung anong sensory information nga gasulod sa aton, we need to perceive it first before we try to filter it. As you can see here, una na ang perceptual processes than the selective filter. Di ba dapat sa ikaduwang selective filter din katatlong perceptual processes. So, ang light filter model naman niya, ginsuliin na, no? So, ang balya, anong pulos ka senses ta if hindi ta pagchindiyon na yung senses? Na, doon mo nambal ni Deutsch. So, gina-acknowledge ta ko na kung anong na-sense ta before we filter them out. And that's the late filter model. Okay? Now let's proceed to last one, divided attention. So this one naman refers to the ability to coordinate the completion of several tasks to achieve an overall goal. We prudently allocate our available attentional resources to coordinate our performance of more than one task at a time. So this is basically multitasking, no? And as you can see here sa aton nga picture, the person is driving while texting, no? Or while using his or her phone. And that is why nga prohibited ni siya class because most automobile accidents are caused by failures in divided attention. Because di ba kung ga-drive ta dapat our whole attention gidara sa lakyan or sa road, no? And ang balta ba hindi pwede nga 100% attention mo sa sakyan or driving, 100% mo sa texting. No, we divide those attention. So, amo na nga illegal na siya kay hindi pwede dapat nga gina-divide ang attention we are driving because it's very risky, no? Kay we are prone to accidents if we do such things. Okay. Now let's proceed to factors that influences our ability to pay attention. So we have anxiety first. This one, amo ni ko ng mga factors class nga, it's either gapahinder sa aton capability to be attentive or pag-enhance ang aton capability to be attentive. So first we have your anxiety, no? So when I think you're well off naman or kakachindi naman ka mo no kung ano magambag tang anxiety. So anxiety is a normal feeling, no? Sometimes sometimes sa social media bla mambal nga gina-anxiety ko, no? And when you think about it, it's only normal, no? Because people have feelings and people and anxiety is a feeling, no? Without anxiety, we wouldn't be here, no? Sa atong mga katutubo kung wala sila anxiety. Sa una mag-hunt sila, ah, basi naubos ng mga tao, no? So anxiety is a part of our emotion. So in regards to this one, no, why I said those things is that nga anxiety as a normal feeling, no? So it could also be a factor that could um maapektuhan naton capability to be attentive. No? So being anxious either by nature or trait-based anxiety, which means nga you are an anxious lang gid nga person, no? Or by situation, state-based anxiety places constraints on attention. No? So kung you are feeling anxiety, kuno it's because it's just your nature or you're anxious because of your environment, no? For example, sa state-based anxiety, nga gabi na, din mapuli ka, dulom, no? So, normal lang ama, kulbaan ka, normal lang yung feel anxious. And that could, in turn, constrain your capability to be attentive, no? Mo lang na ginanamin niya din. And another one is arousal. So, when we say arousal, uh, it could be you are tired, no? For example, on picture day, it could be you're sleepy or drowsy. It could be you are drugged, no? Intoxicated with alcohol, or it could be excitement, no? And not all arousal could limit your attention, no? Some of them or most of them. For example, if you're being tired, drowsy, or drugged, um, or may araw sa influence ng alcohol, ma-limit gid yung imong attention. But when it comes to excitement naman class, sometimes it could also enhance your attention. Kaya bilang excited ka gid sa isa ka bagay, that also enhance your attention. Next, we have task difficulty. So this one naman, if you're working on a task that is very difficult or novel for you, you'll need more attentional resources than when you work on an easy or highly familiar task. Task difficulty particularly influences performance during divided attention. No? So, ang ginanamin niya di class, the more it is kung nga budlay ang ginahimo ta or ang task naton, the more it is nga maapektuhan man naton nga capability to be attentive. The more it is budlay, the more it is nga nabuang chances nga to have a good attentive nga mindset, no? Or to have attention towards the things you are doing. But the more it is nga nubo, the more it is nga mas mas taas mo attention. No? For example nga if if ang subject no budlay-budlay gid, ang tendency sina is mabudlayan ka man mag-give attention towards that subject, no? Because nga before ka mamati si mo maestro, need mo pa i-chindio ng mga certain jargons or certain things before mo i-process, no, ng imo na learn. Or for example when it comes to quizzes, no, may ara gid siya kis ang quiz or exam na lang for example nga budlay gid no, maski ano mo katutok, maski grabe na tuon mo, budlay gid and those tasks, no, budlay sa gaan attention because imbes nga mabasa ka na lang, no, sang choices based ang questions, you need to think pa kung ano ni gani meaning sang amo ni nga term sa question. So ang ginapahiwatig ko lang di class is the more it is nga budlay ang isa ka task, the more it is man nga gahinder imo nga attention. Next, we have your skills. So it's basically the same as a task difficulty that the more practice you are and the more skillful you are in performing different tasks, the more it is your attention is enhanced, no? So for example, sa driving, no, kung compare bla ang baguhan lang mag-drive kag dugay na mag-drive, no? Ang baguhan mag-drive, ang attention niya is very divided because malantaw po sa siya side mirror, malantaw po sa iyang windshield. At the same time, he or she will need to have attention siya changing gear, no? Pag siya manubila. So, divided gid yung attention kaysa sa sagad na or naka 1 year na bing mag-drive, no? So, during this time, guro kung 1 year ka na mag-drive, kasi aga cellphone ka na gani maskin mag-drive ka or gistorya kasi aga one hand ka lang sa manubila because you are practiced enough, no? You are skillful enough and therefore, ang attention mo hindi na mo nakadivided. Okay, next, when our attention fails us, this one naman kay Dr. Heinrich Hoffman, 1845. So this is all about the what we call attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD, no? So most of us take for granted our ability to pay attention and to divide our attention in adaptive ways, no? We're gonna take for granted talaga ng capability to be attentive to certain things, no? But did you know, class, not everyone can do that, no? Because people with ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder have difficulties in focusing their attention in ways that enable them to adapt in optimal ways to their environment. So this condition was first described by Dr. Heinrich Hoffmann in 1845. Today, it has been widely investigated. But still, even though nga muna naka-widely investigated, no one knows for sure the cause of ADHD. It may be partially heritable condition. There's some evidence of a link to maternal smoking and drinking of alcohol during pregnancy. Lead exposure on the part of the child may also be associated with ADHD. So as you can see here, no, sa each of these circles, these are the factors daw nga pag-study ni Dr. Hoffman, nakita yung nga may link, no, in regarding to ADHD. And most kuno nga mga mother kuno nga pregnant, when they are pregnant, no, kung ga-smoke sila kaga-drink, dako kuno likelihood ng bata nila magka-ADHD or maybe ang child nagka-lead exposure or maybe nagka-brain injury or even sa food additives, no? In particular, mga sugary nga food, no? It could cause ADHD man, and as well as differences in the frontal subcortical cerebral catecholaminergic circuits in dopamine regulation. This one, ang last one, it's all about the biology aspect naman sa katao. So all of this could be the cause, no, sang ADHD, ang Bali Hoffman, and up until today, wala pa know for sure if the ingalin lang ADHD. And children with inattentive type of ADHD show several distinct symptoms. They are easily distracted by irrelevant sights and sound. They often fail to pay attention to details. They are susceptible to making careless mistakes in their work. They often fail to read instructions completely or carefully. They are susceptible to forgetting or losing things they need for tasks, such as pencils or books. They tend to jump from one incomplete task to another. So, kung ang isa ko bata may ADHD nga inattentive type, no? So when it comes to ADHD, damo mo na siya types, class. So there are some cases nga may ADHD pero maka-function Japan sa society. There are types nga, for example, sa inattentive, ni budlayan gid no mag integrate sa society na. It's because nga hindi sila naka-focus sa isa ka bagay, no? So una mayara ko na nakita no sa isa ka clinic nga may bata nga diagnosed with ADHD, and I think he was the inattentive type because nakita og gid ang pag may yung pasulat siya nga do psychological test, do ma-drawing, do draw a person test. And do ngalan niya palang nasulat ya sa form. Do first name niya palang naglakat sa diyon sa naglagan kag nagtigtiyog, then balik naman siya, sulat niya naman niya last name. After sulat sa last name niya, gwa naman siya for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, then balik naman siya because nga hindi siya gani ka he can't be attentive sa isa lang kabagay. Amo na kung may ADHD ka. On next one here, we have what we call change blindness kag inattentional blindness. So ang inattentional blindness, I think na discuss ko naman ni siya sa unit 2 naton. So hindi ko na ni siya discuss further. But when it comes to change blindness, it is an inability to detect changes in objects or scenes that are being viewed. So These are arab lang sometimes abi mo amo Japon nung ginalantaw mo pero there are changes na gali which pero wala mo na piyaran kumbaga. And that is not an impairment, no? That is not a pathological issue sa iyong mga brain but just a phenomenon that sometimes our brain could trick us, no? Um, it's the same with inattentional blindness. Okay, so next we have here what we call nga spatial neglect. So it is an attentional dysfunction in which participants ignore the half of their visual field that is contralateral to, on the opposite side of, the hemisphere of the brain that has a lesion. So it is a result mainly of unilateral lesions in the parietal and frontal lobes, most often in the right hemisphere. So when you say contralateral, meaning opposite, okay? And hemispheres, now you have your right and left hemisphere. And when say lesions, it is the impairment, no, or kumbaga may dysfunction sa dira nga part. So that's what you call a lesion. Um, this is the same with ano, no, with your half stroke bala. If the right hemisphere is the affected one, then ang half side nga body nga affected is the left side. So suli kumbaga contralateral. Eh, and if sa left hemisphere naman sang brain ang may affected sa stroke, then ang right side naman sang half side no sang body ang ma-affected. So it's the same with our spatial neglect here nga ang left side ko no ah sang person kumbaga may attentional dysfunction. No? So take a look at this picture here. A normal person would draw a clock like this, no? Complete, kumbaga, and a house like this one, no? Sa left side ng model. And if a person with spatial neglect magdraw sang clock, it would look like this one, no? Sa right side ng patient's copy. And if we would draw a house like this model, sa dalom, no, it would look like this on the right side. So as you can see here, as you've noticed, no, the left side of the drawing is unfinished. It's because nga the person, no, does not have the capability uh, to have attention sa mga left side niya things, no? So what do I mean by this? For example, here sa clock, mag-drawing na siya class, makita na yung clock, no? But he couldn't have attention, no, within his or her brain to focus on the left side because kani ang guba ara sa right side sang hemisphere, partially sa parietal kag frontal lobe. So kay tungod contralateral ang spatial neglect, therefore ang left side of attentional perception ng may dysfunction. Okay? And this condition is called spatial neglect or hemi-neglect, no? H-E-M-I, neglect. It is shortcuts on hemisphere, no? Hemisphere neglect. Okay? So we have what we call an automatic and controlled process. When you say automatic process, it refers to the execution of tasks without requiring constant human involvement or intervention. It relies on predefined rules, algorithms, or programming instructions to perform specific actions or make decisions. This type of processing is designed to streamline and expedite repetitive or routine tasks, freeing up human resources for more complex or creative endeavors. So for example, when you are eating, no, you are not necessarily controlling your body. Do ka automatic na lang siya. It's because nga repetitive na no ang pag-eat no ever since we were born we kaon na ta no. And that's why it's an example of automatic process. And whereas sa controlled process naman niya, it refers to cognitive activities that are intentionally activated and require conscious awareness. It involves mental tasks that demand effort, concentration, and conscious direction of attention to perform novel or challenging activities. It is also referred to as effortful processing, okay? So it's also known as effortful processing. Example of your control processes is driving, okay? When you are driving, no, you need to really take control of the processes nga gina process mo sa mga brain. For example, when it comes to attention, you need to pay attention sa road, no? Pay attention sa imong manubila, pay attention to uh, how you would navigate the road, no? And even though nga maski na pero mo sa nimo 2 years to be 3 years, you still need to control those attention, no? Sometimes um iban ganito gidugay naga-drive gaka disgrasya Japon. And that's the difference between the automatic process and controlled process. So para masapos nyo ma-chindihan, no, mas masapos nyo ma-associate, no? Automatic means effortless or unconscious, no? Wala ka na ginapanumduman. Control naman is effortful and conscious. Example, driving a car. So I think that ends our unit 3, no? Our attention. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna record now the unit 4.